The number of terror attacks around the world has been on a steady increase over the past couple of years. These attacks are perpetrated by a global network of people who want nothing more than to see the peaceful world crumble. Sheikh Abdullah el-Faisal was recently arrested in Jamaica and is now scheduled for extradition back to New York. The radical Muslim cleric was busted in a sting operation by the New York Police Department. According to NBC New York, el-Faisal was communicating with an undercover New York police officer through email, text, and video chat. His ultimate goal was to incite terrorism and recruit new followers of ISIS. After his arrest by Jamaica's Ministry of National Security, el-Faisal was taken to his home in St. Catherine, a nearby parish. Upon arriving at this home, they executed a search warrant to see what kind of evidence they could find. Disturbingly, the Manhattan District Attorney stated that el-Faisal told the secret police officer that he could help him travel to the Middle East. Once they arrived overseas, he promised the police officer that he could help him join ISIS, and begin his training. Here in the US, there were big concerns about el-Faisal, whose birth name is Trevor Williams of Jamaica. His history of working with terrorists and recruiting has occurred in multiple countries around the world. El-Faisal converted to Islam at a young age and began preaching at a mosque in the UK. During his time preaching in the City of London, he disseminated disturbing messages to youth and adults alike. He assured his followers that a war with the Jewish people needed to be waged and that they must be defeated at any cost. He had even stated that if it came down to it, chemical warfare should be waged against all non-believers. In the past, he had been convicted of terrorist crimes in other counties. El-Faisal served 4 years in prison in the UK from 2003 to 2007 for inciting murder. However, his violent and troubling history was far from over. The radical extremist was then kicked out of Kenya in 2009. Allegedly, he was trying to get young men in the area to convert to Islam and join an extremist group based out of Somalia. Before he was deported back to Jamaica in 2010, he was banned from preaching by the Islamic Council of Jamaica. The reason for this was his toxic speech, calling for war against non-believers. Authorities in many U.S. cities, including New York, have done a great job of staying ahead of Islamofascist terror plots but admit their cities are still vulnerable. Do you believe that it is only a matter of time until a major terror attack on a U.S. city? Now that he is headed back to New York for trial, he is likely going to prison for a long time, especially considering his past and the conversation that he had with the undercover police officer during the month-long investigation. Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance made a convincing argument that el-Faisal was posing a serious threat to the people of New York, and around the world. Through his lectures, website, and videos, he incites untold numbers of people around the world to take up the cause of jihad, Vance stated. He continued, as is alleged in this case, he provided material support to the Islamic State by facilitating the passage of a self-described ISIS sympathizer from New York to Syria. At the time of this writing, his trial date back in the US is still unknown.